Welcome to Squirrel, the podcast for distracted writers, hosted by Candace J. Thomas and Jody L. Milner. Hey everybody, welcome to Squirrel. This is Jody.
This is Candy.
And today we have a really nice, cozy topic. We wanted to talk about creating a writing retreat at home, kind of a one-person, self-indulgent act of creativity.
Yes.
So I'm pretty excited about this idea.
I think it's fun.
Now we're kind of coming up on the season where kids are going to be getting home from school and staying there. I think we're going to be seeing a little bit of upheaval in the next few weeks for a lot of us, where the rhythm of our family life is going to change a lot.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so while this is something you do need to plan, I think it makes a lot of sense to actually think about when you could do it and treat yourself.
Yes, it's fun. Well, and I liked the idea when you pitched this because I would love a retreat, but I do not have the space for it. How can I do like a week-long, just writing? I don't ever feel like I have enough time. So
no, and it always feels like everything else is trying to get your attention and your time no matter what you're doing.
Yes. So this is fun to think about.
Yeah, this is kind of like creative wish fulfillment. Because if you're
wishes.
If you talk to writers long enough, chances are one of them is going to bring up this great writing retreat they went on and how they were able to finish their book or finish their outline and how it's just like, oh, that sounds so nice. So have no fear. You can create your own personal retreat and not need to share a bunkhouse with 12 other people and spiders. There's a story behind that.
We have done. Oh my gosh.
It's the perfect fit. You can make this be the perfect fit for what you need right now.
That'd be awesome.
But what I want to start with is, why would you want to have a writing treat? Why would you want to have a writing retreat, not just a treat?
Well, I think that it's important as an author to have creative space, right? That's the retreat part.
Mm-hmm.
You have no obligations. You have just nothing but creativity to play with. And that's what's fun about a retreat, going away, talking with other creative people and enjoying the inspirational atmosphere usually that it's created during a retreat. Yeah, I just like that creative energy that I get at retreats.
Well, and I really like the idea of just having a space where you don't have to worry about other things. You can briefly set them down. I get so distracted at home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So if I ever had one of those, lightning in a bottle kind of ideas where it gets you really excited and you can't sleep at night, that would be when I'd want to do a personal retreat where it's just I'm gonna create this pocket of time where I can catch this idea that is just haunting me and do it justice.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my dream. I don't think I could do it at home, though. I might need to rent a cheap hotel room or something.
I don't know. We'll talk some ideas
but we
here, and we'll see what we come up with, because honestly, I think that you could do it. I think you could.
I do have a lock on my office door.
Yes, but okay. Well, let's keep going.
We'll get there.
We'll keep going.
Okay, you have done several retreats.
Yeah, I have. Just a handful, but they've all been very different. I mean, we did the Anwa retreat is that the one with the 12 bunks and the spiders?
The very first one, because originally Anwa was holding it at this wilderness outpost up in the mountains, and it was meant for people getting their degree in forestry. And so, yeah, they had a bunkhouse, and then they had a couple other houses. But yeah, we had a room that had 20 different bunk beds and plastic mattresses and a whole lot of spiders.
That sounds awful.
So that was interesting.
I don't find that very creative.
But since I was the organizer, I don't remember anything I actually got done during that retreat. So
yeah. No, there's been a handful of us friends that we have rented an Airbnb and gone and done a writing retreat like that. Yeah, I have a cabin I've hosted, a few friends over there to do some writing.
You went to the Morgan place for
Yeah,
Anwa.
I did go to the
Because they,
Morgan
after the
space.
1 year of the
They're
spiders
like,
and the bunk
no.
beds, and there was still students there doing stuff, and we're like, we rented this for the weekend.
Yeah.
Why are you still here? Go away.
Yeah, no, the cabin in Morgan was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved that space. I think the first year I was invited as a guest where I got to teach a class, I think.
Yay.
And
Cool.
then I went another year as just a person to write. And I don't think I got anything done. Well, I don't remember if I got anything done. How about that? I wish that I had written it down, like I'm sure
But
you
with
do.
the Morgan retreats, what I really liked was there was that sense of creative vibe amongst everyone there.
Yes.
And then you could choose to do it, but they always had the games in the evening where everyone got really silly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those ways that I would refill the creative battery by being around people super excited just to have fun with words. So that was one of the retreats that I felt was very well balanced with, there was games and there was educational opportunities, but then there was plenty of time to also do work on your own.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had a great time with, I did like the energy. I just like energy being around other writers. Like I could go and write around my family, even if we're up at the cabin. It's not the same as writing with people that are creative and want to write as well. So
yeah, it's different.
It is different.
Even if you're like on a vacation and everyone's just chilling, sitting down and trying to work on, it's your creative work and you're excited about it, but it's still work while everyone's kind of slumming.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to get in the groove.
Yeah. And they're definitely not encouraging either.
No, because they're like, come play with me.
Yes, exactly.
Come do this game. All right, so we have 6 different ways you can make your home writing retreat a success. And the very first thing you should consider is having a defined purpose, having defined goals that you want to meet. And this is me and my goal-oriented brain. If that makes your brain sad and upset, then, find your own, find something that drives you.
Yeah, if you're going to do a retreat at home, there has to be some effort put into it, because it's at home. So you have to make that special, right?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason.
When I'm speaking of goals, this could be something like you want to get a certain number of words written, or maybe you want to outline a book idea that you've been thinking about, or maybe it's just you want to get your social media posts and everything done for the next month. You just want to just have a knockdown, drag out, let's get this all done because this is what I've got the energy for. Whatever is exciting you and giving you energy to think about, that should be what you do for your retreat. It shouldn't be the drudgery. It should be something that you're kind of excited to do. So the reason you want to have these goals that are exciting and energizing for you is that it's going to help you stay on task and prevent the dreaded, what do I do next? Because at home, if you have a lag where you're like, oh, I finished this scene. I'm going to go do laundry. Stop it. Don't.
Yeah.
You're giving yourself a break. Knock it off. Have a list of things that you're excited and wanting to do. So when you finished one thing, you have the next one queued up and ready to go. Because otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of time and energy. And nobody likes that.
No, don't waste your time when it comes to your writing time. So the next one I have is, you've got to design your retreat. So it needs to be, you need to create a space for it. And if you, like Jody said, Jody has an amazing office in her basement. And that's a great place for a retreat. But maybe think outside the box. So I don't have a writing space in my house. And it's constantly being filled with people. So in order for me to make a space, it needs to be outside. So I'm thinking retreat-wise, it should be a tent, or I have a pop-up trailer. I know you have a trailer.
Yes.
You could absolutely
sneak into my trailer
in there and use that space that's totally quiet and nobody can reach you.
And it still has Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm still connected to my Wi-Fi. I still can go to the bathroom.
Mm.
It's not like you're out in the wilderness in a tent, but that's what I was thinking about, creating a space like that. And when I think about retreat or even a canopy, I think that's another thing that people have in their backyard, or have maybe a pop-up canopy of some sort if you don't have a tent or a pop-up trailer like me. But think about that, and just maybe making this specific ambiance. So when you think true retreat, you think luxurious, right? So create an environment, put in mood lighting, put sounds to it. I don't know, whales. I know, I don't know, like the sound machine, or like some humming, or stuff like that. Candles. I wrote citronella candles because I need that in my backyard, because mosquitoes love me and I'm close to water. So they love it here. And then just have some kind of plan. Like if you have like a whiteboard or some kind of poster or a calendar or goals just somewhere listed that you can, as you make specific marks in your retreat, like you've made this specific word goal, yay for you, you can mark it off and keep going with that.
A sticker chart. Yay!
Yes, a sticker chart.
Okay,
It's like potty training.
I'm almost 45 and they still inspire me.
Right?
Never too old.
Yeah, last thing I did was a playlist. I think you can put in like sound machines, but I also I have a specific playlist that I do use for writing, and something that is a good good motivation, and that will not distract you, but help you, just help add to the atmosphere. There you go.
All right.
So I think.
So next we need to talk about logistics, like scheduling and boundaries and things you should set up. So the very first thing you really need to figure out is your when and your how long you can get away with it. So, and this is going to depend on your work schedule, your home life, and your other responsibilities. Your goal is to find a time that everyone can be happy with and support you in using. And so, because you're going to need your family's cooperation, even if your family is just your partner. You're going to need some good communication and cooperation, because if this is something you've never done before, there's going to be a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going to still make dinner? The answer should be no. Say, I give you permission to go anywhere you like.
Yes, exactly. Say, okay, you can eat here on this day and here on this day. That's a great idea.
And then you might want to consider negotiating a trade with your partner. So if you get to do your retreat for X amount of time, then they should get to do something that they want in return. And so everyone feels like they win.
Yeah,
so
that's always very important.
It's a really smart way of everyone being able to do what they want without hard feelings. And then you also need to decide if you're going to go contact free. Are you going to take your phone with you, or are you going to go off the grid?
That is a good idea.
Because this is something you need to decide in advance. Because if you do decide that you're going off the grid, then you need to have ways for those people who try to get a hold of you to at least get a hold of someone. And if it's an emergency, they can decide if they get a hold of you.
Or just say, I will be off grid. If it's an emergency, you'll need to text me or something like that.
Yeah. So communicate with the people who tend to contact you when you are trying to work and being like,
I need you to do this
I will
for
be
me,
off
please.
the grid. Like, if you choose to do that, just set up systems that enable you to succeed. Again, you can set up your phone to only allow specific people to call you. Focus mode is awesome. Most phones do this.
I don't know focus mode.
I'll have to show you focus mode. It's cool.
I have a Pixel. Is it?
I want to say most phones have it, but I can't swear by Androids.
It's okay.
I swear at Androids.
Do you? I love
just because I
Androids.
don't know how to use them.
I don't know how to use iPhones. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here?
We can do tech
up.
support for
I
both.
don't know how to do that.
Okay, but it's your turn, so you need to put the phone away.
I will not look at focus mode. That was a huge squirrel. I'm sorry. Okay, Next one I've got is include inspiration and connection. Okay, so what I'm talking about here is when you go to retreats, there are sometimes a lot of classes or activities that are included with this. So maybe if you look at some, like, maybe it's a good time to watch those videos that you've collected about writing projects or on YouTube, or I'm thinking maybe if you have some saved writers conference
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know our
classes.
local conference will keep those videos available to those who have paid for the conference for only a certain amount of time.
Yes, but
So
that's
if you're coming up to the end of that time and you were really excited to get that because it was really good material, hey,
Mhm.
having a tiny retreat for 4 hours one afternoon just to let yourself do that,
Yeah.
that wouldn't take a lot of planning.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need to put up the tent.
The Women in Publishing conference that happens every March, they keep that. As long as you use this specific code, you can have access to it for a year.
Nice.
So I still have
That
lots
said,
of
that
classes.
year's going to keep going. And
I
you're
have
going to get
lots
to
of
the end of
classes
it
to
and be like,
watch.
oh, I
yeah.
have 2 days.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good time. That's what I just kind of focus on, maybe finding those classes or learning more about a craft that in your craft that you don't feel really comfortable with. I love watching YouTube people that specifically about marketing. I know because that's where I tend to drift to, but I like their clever ideas that they do. So I know that there are a lot of writers, a lot of authors are out there on YouTube doing all sorts of incredible stuff. So definitely check it out and look up some good writing exercises. If you look through any of our episodes that we've talked about writing exercises, just like a couple of episodes ago about poetry, you might find some good exercises to do there. I always like to add to any retreat, though, some pampering. So I do suggest maybe yoga or meditation or stretching or something to defog the brain sometimes. And senses are always really good with this as well, putting in some kind of candle or whatever.
Take yourself on a nice walk
Yeah.
without your phone.
And then another thing is maybe communicate to the other writers that you know that maybe you could virtually do some writing together. That way you have like a writing partner or what is the word I'm thinking of?
Like sprints?
Yes, accountability partner. That would be one, or and doing sprints with other writers, just to maybe help motivate you to write specifically during a time. I know I like that, so there we go.
Well, and it's also you can gamify. If you're starting to drag, you can search up live writing sprints on YouTube, and chances
Cool.
are you might find one in progress that you can just join.
That's so cool. Wow.
And you can comment and be part of the group. It's going to be a bunch of randos, but
That's
they're all
fun.
writers. So
I'm going to write that one down.
yeah,
Randos
randos
for sprints.
And so our next point is coming back to preparing for your time. Now, if you're just going to do a short little mid-afternoon or maybe an evening to yourself, the preparation isn't going to require a lot. But if you're going to do an entire day or several days, you want to prepare like you're going on a trip. You want to plan all the meals you're planning on having. So you don't get to like the middle of day 2 and being like, crap, I gotta go get milk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I really need creamer for my coffee. Shoo, I'm out of Dr. Pepper. Like, whatever your personal favorites are, you should have them stocked up and on hand. And also that your preferred comfy clothes are clean and ready, because comfy clothes are required for a good writing retreat. All of the cozy clothes.
Yep.
If you're having a retreat at home, consider cleaning your space beforehand so that you don't get distracted or tempted to do chores when the writing gets hard. If you've already done it, then you can't use that as an excuse. Anything you can figure out before the beginning of your retreat is worth doing, because you don't want to start and then need to go do random things that are not part of filling your creative well. Will things happen again? Probably, yeah. But you can do your best to prevent it. You also want to plan ideas of what you can do during rest breaks, because you're not going to be going eyes to the computer for 15 hours straight.
Right.
Because your brain's going to start melting after 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have rest breaks. Maybe there's a movie you've been dying to watch or a book you've been wanting to enjoy. Have those already at the ready. Have those easy to find and available, so you don't have that moment of, I don't know what streaming service this is on. Let me spend 20 minutes trying to find it. Oh, wait, I don't get that one. I have to go buy it on this other one. And it takes the fun out. If you're planning on doing it, buy it beforehand or have a disc or your preferred way of enjoying media. Just already have it ready.
Cool. All right. That means that we're at the end of our retreat. So
if we've done all the other steps and hopefully some good work.
Yes. Then, and you've ended your retreat, this is what you need to do. You need to throw a party.
A tiny one-person party.
I tend to like to party, but if you don't, it's still a success, and you should definitely celebrate it in some fun way. I think you should let other people know what you're doing on media, because it's just fun to share that. Maybe do an Instagram live. I don't know if that's weird for you, but people are weirdly invested in what you do online, specifically if you're a writer, because we tend to have this community of we all understand the same pain. So it is fun to share that kind of stuff. But isn't it kind of true when you find a writer you watch and they do something and you're like, maybe this will work for me?
Yeah.
That's the
if
voodoo
somebody's
I talk about.
Finding a good experience and it resonates with you, it's worth trying.
Yeah.
So you could be that inspiration for someone else.
I also think that, and this is something that Jody mentioned at the beginning, when you define what your celebration looks like, what are the goals that you're trying to achieve, and what do you get to treat yourself to if you make those goals? Yeah. So I'm thinking dinner.
Presents for yourself.
Yes. Dinner. I mean, a bubble bath might be nice, but I'm also thinking dinner. Maybe some Indian food. Maybe some new pens, like Jody's favorite pens, or some software that you have been dying to.
Way.
Socks are my thing, so don't mock it.
I like socks. Have you seen what I'm wearing?
No, I will look in just a minute.
I've got my sloth socks.
That's awesome. Yeah, so whatever that looks like for you, celebrate your way, and definitely document what you did. Again, if you wanted to post about it, great. If you journal it, that's a really good idea. I wish that I had journaled what I was doing in those retreats, because now I have no recollection of anything that I achieved, but I really wish that I had. So yes, celebrate your victory and reflect on what you accomplished. Ta-da!
Yay. So it might seem selfish or silly to plan something that's just for you, but you're worth it. It's worth having something nice once in a while, because all too often our creative goals get pushed to the side because there are more pressing things that are demanding our attention. Allowing yourself a mini retreat, even if it's just an afternoon, gives you permission to fall back in love with being creative.
Yay.
So I do have a listener assignment. We're going to take a flight of fancy here. I want you to spend 15 minutes. You can spend longer, but commit to 15 minutes coming up with your perfect retreat plan.
I did. I have an idea of exactly what I'm going to do.
So consider what you'd include. What would your goals be? This isn't you committing to doing the retreat. This is you envisioning what it might be like and getting yourself maybe a little excited for an idea like this. Then if an opportunity presents itself, you're going to be ready to seize it, because you've kind of laid the groundwork for yourself of it being a possibility. I know my first retreat since I was in charge of it, and I had never been to a retreat before. This is a great way of planning things, by the way. They're like, you're in charge of this. I'm like, that's nice. I don't know anything. So do some research about what people have found really beneficial. Listen to the podcast again, because sure, why not?
Yeah.
But let yourself have that little flight of fancy and come up with something that's going to be amazing just for you. Even if you don't do it, you'll feel better just knowing that it's a possibility.
That would be fun.
Yay! Yep. Tell us about our next episode.
Oh, right. Well, it's going to be books on the fives because it's going to be episode 45. And we're talking doorstop fantasy.
Oh, no.
The big chonkers. The big ones. So is it chonky fantasy? Is that what we call it?
No.
I don't know. Nobody calls
Famously
it
not.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That book is a brick.
Yep.
It's structural.
And it's funny that we're fantasy authors, and we haven't yet talked about fantasy books in our Books to the Five. So this is going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Are you really?
Actually, I am. Okay. You finally found something that's my wheelhouse.
Yay, yes.
So, a huge thanks for listening today. If there's anything you heard that you found beneficial, that has enhanced your creative life in any way, remember that we have a Patreon and also a Buy Us a Coffee. You can leave us a digital tip in our tippy jar by going to either of those sites. Those links are in the description. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend.
Share.
Or not a friend. Share with anybody. Share it with some random person on the internet just to see what they do.
With all the randos that you sprint with. It's going to be great.
You can say, I got this podcast. All right. This has been fun.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Squirrel Podcast for the Distracted Writer with Candace J. Thomas and Jody L. Milner. Please like and subscribe to our podcast for updates and new episodes, and find more information at our website, squirrelpodcast.com. Stay distracted, everyone. What did I write there? That's funny. Maybe the same voodoo. I was like, why do I have voodoo written? Who knows why I have voodoo?
Hoodoo. You do? Do what? Remind me of the babe. 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to get the mic closer to my mouth.